Hey y'all! Welcome to the tutorial. Today we're going to draw something super easy that anyone can do because I love cartoons, and we're going to use supplies that anyone has access to. Sharpies, because I love Sharpies. Have this grand plan to be a professional YouTuber. I must work anywhere that I am and everywhere. We're getting to a fresh page here. Thought you'd like to look through the sketchbook. This is a mixed media pad, so I've got a couple different things going on in here. Mixed media is great for Sharpies because the paper's thick and it doesn't bleed through to the next page. This is watercolor and Sharpie. Anyways, I'm at the in-laws because I'm traveling across the country, and they're about halfway from where I live now and grew up to where I'm going and used to live. I'm traveling from Virginia, I'm in Wisconsin, and I am going to Montana to pick up my artwork which I left out there. Drew this with a kid. I was painting with my niece and nephew today, which was really sweet. This was Sharpie, this is Sharpie, this is unfinished Sharpie, acrylic and Sharpie, and here we are to begin our tutorial. We have good lighting here, which is really important when you're drawing or painting. Just to let you know, this is my third tutorial yet. The second one might not be posted yet, and the first was on painting in watercolor and wax. Now we pick a color that we're drawn to. I was naturally drawn to the orange, so here we go. Since it's my third tutorial ever, please like this video and drop a comment so that more people can see it and I can have my dreams of being a professional full-time artist and YouTuber. When I think about composition, I probably don't want to go straight in the center. I also probably don't want to go straight in the center this direction. Either direction. Center is not necessarily a good place to start unless you're going for symmetry or just wanting to break the rules. So we'll start with a twirl. Don't you love the sound of Sharpies? Today we're drawing a simple scene and you can follow along. We can change colors at any time. This is one of my favorite things to draw. A scene with little creatures. We're drawing a wiggly snail. I don't really see an image in my head, but it's starting to appear as I draw. I'm seeing some little creatures hanging out in the grass. Getting some really wiggly lines here. I just love wiggly lines, and I love cartoons. I also love twirlies, so you're just getting to see all the things I love. We really want random stuff to happen. You don't want everything to match. I start with these bigger grass pieces behind the snail, and it tapers out into smaller pieces. This gives the illusion that the image keeps going and draws your attention to the focal point. Every piece of art needs a focal point. My nephew recently said, "How do I make my abstract work not look like it's just scribbles?" And of course, I was teaching him about the focal point and having lines that draw you to the focal point. But this snail is not going to be the only focal point. You can see that a lot of my movements are just random. Now I've drawn this a lot, so if you're following along, you too are getting to benefit from all the practice I've put in, because you're not really having to think about what to draw necessarily. This is kind of like the kids' books you see that are step by step how to draw. Simply by watching me and following along, you can draw it too. Yours doesn't have to be perfect. There's no one to impress here. If I wanted to be a super impressive artist, I totally could do a tutorial that blew your mind. But this is about including everyone and making things easy. I always talk about things being easy, and I want it to be easy for me too. Your grass might be going different directions. You don't have to make it exactly like mine. These are going to be flowers, of course. Now, I meant to put a ladybug on one of these leaves. You're not just going to want to draw a circle over top, because you'll be able to see that green line underneath. So instead, I might have the ladybug going this direction. Now I'm not really coloring things in yet, but I'm leaving some space for those black dots. I'm going to start coloring this in because I want that ladybug to be a bright red. Now let's say I do want a ladybug to show up on one of the leaves. That's when I'll probably want to draw the ladybug first, and then put the leaf underneath it. Going back to that dark green, I started with the dark green because, and maybe the ladybug's halfway off the leaf. I started with the dark green because I'm going to come in with a lighter green later. I remember watching my mom color in the coloring pages that we would get at restaurants, and she always had these dark lines around the edges and then lighter shading in the middle. I really loved the look of that, and it's always stuck with me all these years. Now, I think I want another kind of creature. Should it be another ladybug? I'm having to make a decision here. I have my composition of 3 pieces. If I add a 4th, will it be too much? Maybe I'll keep it simple. I think I just get carried away because I love drawing ladybugs. I've always drawn ladybugs. I was given a stamp of a ladybug that you put the ink on one side and then you stamp it, and it makes a cute ladybug with curly antennas, and I've always loved the look. Black can draw over top of other colors, so it's not a big deal if you leave space for the black. So those antennas were going that direction. Since this one's from the side, its antennas are going the other direction. I don't think ladybugs actually have antennas, but snails don't have eyes either. So it's a cartoon. You can do whatever you want. Now I want to draw some flowers. I'm going to think of the center of my flowers being a bright yellow. Now this center is going to be a half circle. In the past, I used to wonder if I was really a good artist because all I wanted to do was draw cartoon flowers. Nothing fancy. While many artists around me were painting native flowers, and I've done that too, but just because I can do something at a high skill level and talent doesn't mean that I have to. And also, many artists get caught up in the fact that you need talent. Even people that don't consider themselves to be artists get caught up in the idea of talent. Real quick, I picked up this purple to be the petals, but I already have so many warm colors here that it might be better to choose a different color. Perhaps a blue. I don't want to do green because I'm going to have green stems. Maybe I should settle somewhere in between this pinkish purple and blue and just go with a purple. Maybe one flower could be a different color too, or a different shade. So in that case, I might go with my initial intention of having a little bit of this fuchsia sort of purple or magenta. I'm still learning the names of colors. I hope to learn the names of colors to teach better too. I also got a book about the brain so I can learn more about how the brain functions in order to talk more about mental health. I also got a book about color. The book I got about the color is super in-depth, but I also have a more simple book about color too. I love books. I got a book about drawing the human anatomy as well. And that's for my own personal benefit, but I'm sure that it will carry over into the way that I teach. That's why I was drawing that skull a couple pages back, because I was practicing from that book. If you don't want to draw cartoons from your imagination, I'll tell you what's really helpful to get your art looking more realistic, and that would be reference images, reference photos, something to look at and go off. Technically, right now, if you're following along, which I surely hope you are, you're using my art as your reference image. And I don't mind one bit. Go for it. It's fun. Now, I know snails don't really have polka dots, but I'm really feeling drawn to give it some. And it's funny that I left that ladybug's polka dots white. I almost did that up here, like it just looked so good. Maybe I'll do that for a future piece, and I do believe there are ladybugs in real life that have white dots, but don't quote me. I wonder if there's snails that have dots. Now it's time to color it in. There's a lot of ways you can color things in with ink. Ooh, this yellow was tainted with green. That's okay. Nobody will notice my mistakes. Maybe it's not a mistake anyways. I love it. I love when I'm making art and my heart goes out to it and I just feel good. I love that. Now when it comes to creating shading and more details in a piece, you can see I added in these lines. There's other more specific ways you can do it, such as cross-hatching. Or just lines, scribbles, or even stippling, which is dots. Now these work really good if you're just working with black or in one tone, but since I have these light colored Sharpies, I can just shade in with the lighter colors. Now maybe I choose to just shade in part of the plant and come back in with another green too. It's always fun to mix it up. Sometimes the more colors you put in a piece, the more detailed it looks, even though it's not super detailed after all. But now what do you do about shapes that just fade off into the oblivion like this? There's no hard line. You don't want to just draw a hard line. Well, you can kind of just go at it with this hatching like I'm talking about, with lines, and just kind of give it a sort of faded look by just letting those strokes just kind of fade off. Okay, I know I've stopped talking, but if you're drawing along or just watching, what if you could tune into this time, tune into this silence? This is great for your attention span. But real quick before I do go into the silence, I remember that I was talking about talent and people's idea that they need to be talented to make art. If you're truly educated in the arts, and by educated, I just mean you're curious and you go look at what other artists are doing. If you go look at what other artists are doing, there's a lot of artists making a really good living on artwork that is seemingly untalented. There are proverbs in the Tao which say that true art seems artless, and it depends on the version that you read. And I, at one point, was a little bit afraid because of certain belief systems I was in to talk about these things. So if you have any fear come up when I talk about books like that, just understand that you don't have to accept what I'm saying. It's your own choice what you read into, what you think about, what you think is healthy or safe. It really comes down to what feels safe for you. And now some of you, hopefully all of you, are thinking, what is she talking about, being afraid? And I'm so afraid at points to say things that I actually didn't even give you the full name of the book. But you can look it up or rewind if you're super interested. I just have to be honest, and sometimes I feel like a hypocrite because at times in my life, due to the fear arising, I even put down such texts as dangerous myself. I just let my mind roam freely and be as authentic and honest as I can be, because that's the way that I feel comfortable and that I feel like I am contributing to other people's lives. Because if I can't be myself, I really don't think I'm contributing that much. I think I'm just putting on a show. And this tutorial is not just a show. And I appreciate you for being here. And not only because I can gain something from it, but because I know you're gaining something from it. And that means a lot to me, that my life has purpose. Alright, so now, before I went on that long tangent, I was talking about the silence. I dare you. Could you continue out the rest of this video in silence and presence with your own art? Don't let me distract you. I know how to make a time lapse so that this could be over sooner, so that maybe I could get more views because people watch my video to the end. But I care about your mental health more, and silence is one of the most important things that you can integrate into your life. So here we go on the silent challenge. See if you can make it to the end. And if you get uncomfortable, don't worry, that's all part of the practice. Thanks so much for making it this far. If you made it this far, comment, "I love silence." Now, one more piece of composition is that I am accenting the pink that's up here with the pink that's down here. There's not a ton of purple, but I'm also feeling like this snail is a little bit faded or blown out. And what's causing that is a lack of contrast, such as even though these colors are different than each other, the value of this green is similar to the value of this orangish yellow and pink. So that just means that you need a darker color for it to show up. So in order to balance out this purple, I will go around this creature with some purple. Now when I put that purple over top of that orange, it kind of looks black. So I might go on the outside, touching the white as much as possible. But it doesn't have to be like I see it in my mind. It's still gonna look good, no matter what. And just a reminder, if yours doesn't look like mine, that is okay. It's practically impossible, though nothing is impossible, for you to make something look exactly like mine. But it's great if yours has its own differences. And because I really want to see what you've made, please use the link in the description to contact me and send me an image of what you did. That would really encourage me on my journey and help me feel like I'm making a difference in people's lives. Now, don't forget to sign it. Every time I sign a piece, I think, I could be famous one day. This might be worth something, although it certainly is already worth something, and it's worth something to my mind beyond just monetary gain. True riches are defined by each of us personally, such as happiness. I mean, look at this. It's so happy. Now, this piece looks so good the way it is that I should learn by now not to continue, but I have a really hard time holding myself back, so I'm going to add some very light colors in the background, and I'm just going to draw little clouds with dots, and that really faint look in the background is going to balance out these hard contrast lines and give it a more. And if you think that this video is high enough quality to check all your boxes, please let me know, because that would highly encourage me. I know that I keep on asking for encouragement on this channel, but putting out videos for 6 years and not really seeing much of a following is really challenging. However, I realize I haven't been super consistent either, so maybe that's on me. And beyond that, there are people following along, and I'm super thankful for you. And you count. Each individual counts. Composition-wise, again, there's kind of the clouds going up in this direction. I didn't fill the whole page with it because it really gives this cohesive focal point that fades off into the distance. And thinking back, I think it would have been pretty cool to sign this with the blue, but voila, you have it. Did you like my video? I feel like I have done my due diligence towards my dreams today, which that is a huge contributor to my mental health, as well as knowing I'm on track